Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, it's Lee from Lights Camera Rant, and this particular episode is the last one for the year for 2021. What I want to do for this one is to look back on obviously my review for Hawkeye, hits and box office misses for 2021, and the top rated TV shows. And we're going to also got a little bit of news as always, but no, I just want to do a quick thank you for everyone who's been joining me this podcast every Tuesday morning ever since June when this first started. It's been a hell of a journey. I can't believe this is episode 31. I can't believe we're already at the end of the year. Like, where has the time flown? Like, oh my God, it only feels like yesterday that I finally got the name for Lights Camera Rant and got the first mic and start recording. And as they say, the rest is history. And it's been a blast, and everyone who's come on the show so far, big shout out to all of them, both Mark, Dean, Maddie, Courtney, Perry, every guest star that's come on this podcast so far, and the plenty more that are going to, new ones coming in 2022, and ones that are also going to reappear because I love having them on this show. Big plans for this podcast for 2022, but look, that's in a couple of days. Let's look at 2021 in a wrap. So, first things first, as we always start off with, is the news. So, first thing we got is Spider-Man No Way Home has crossed the $1 billion at the box office. That's indeed correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is now the highest grossing Spider-Man film out of all 9, and that's just, it's well deserved. It is a great movie. I won't obviously go into detail, because definitely check out my last episode of my full review of No Way Home. But yes, it's as announced as I'm recording this, Spider-Man No Way Home has crossed the $1 billion box office mark, which is absolutely outstanding for Tom Holland. That man has such a resume right now. Like, if he goes to audition for a movie, he's going to be like, look, mate, look at my history. I have 5 movies under my belt that have all crossed the $1 billion mark. So he's crossed the $1 billion mark for both Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and now Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, that's a tremendous achievement, and something I highly doubt will ever be replicated from an actor. Like, that's insane to have that on your resume. Like, the only person that comes close is Zoe Saldana. Obviously, she plays Gamora, because the fact that she has the prestigious award of the fact that she appears in the 2 highest grossing movies of all time, Avengers Endgame and Avatar. So she has that under her belt, and that will be another achievement that will be very long before it will ever be replicated. So both under her belt are both the 2 highest grossing movies of all time. And now Tom Holland has 5 films that have crossed $1 billion at the box office, which in this pandemic era is fantastic numbers. The last movie to generate this kind of money was Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Pretty much right before we started plunging into the pandemic, really. But that was like the last big one. And now, if you look at it, it's just mesmerizing. And the fact that, we're at this stage where the fact that it's still, we're getting out of that pandemic kind of era thing. People are going to see movies. No, Spider-Man No Way Home did not have a dual release. So these are all box office theater numbers, which is just fantastic. And I tip my hat off to Tom Holland and the entire crew. Like, they worked really hard on that, and the results show, and the movie is fantastic. But go Tom Holland. Like, anything he touches now, like, he's just got that under his belt. fantastic, Tom, and I can't wait for Spider-Man 4, and I can't wait if they do make the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Fingers crossed. Come on, Sony and Marvel, you can do it. 100%. Nah. But that was the big news. As I was looking this morning, I thought, holy shit, it did it. Son of a bitch did it. And that's fantastic. If we keep going, in the past week, we've also got the Doctor Strange 2 trailer has dropped, which was the after credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home. It's a little bit of a teaser. It doesn't go for very long, but we see Doctor Strange dealing with the effects of No Way Home. There's a lot of references in there from the What If series. Obviously, we do see the returning cast of Wong, as well as I forgot his name. His love interest from Doctor Strange 1. She returns as well. She comes back. Unfortunately, it looks like from the trailer she's getting married, and it's not to Doctor Strange. Poor lad. But Mordor also returns as well. We see evil Doctor Strange. We see Wanda. It's just, the trailer just looks like it's mind-melting. This is going to be, I keep saying it, but this is going to be outstanding. And I can't wait to see it, because right now at the stage, I think it's 110 or 115 days until it comes out. Which it comes out in May. Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness. Definitely check out my Facebook page, because I have put a link on there if you do want to check it out. And look, it's funny because you look at the Marvel trailers now, and because they've edited them so much, you almost look at the trailer right now and you're like, how much of this is real? Is that real? Is that real? Does that actually happen? And the funny thing is, as we've learned with Spider-Man No Way Home and Endgame, their Marvel's trailers, you watch them and you're like, this could literally mean nothing. You've shown me all this, and I still know zilch. Absolutely nothing about the plot. All I know is the fact that it's going to be great, and the title. That's it. That's what Marvel loves doing. And not to mention, the reshoots have also finished up as well. So, hype train for Doctor Strange 2 is in full gear, and I cannot wait to see this. Now, unfortunately, I do have some bad news before some really good news. In other news, unfortunately, John Wick 4 has been delayed until... this is astonishing, actually. It's been delayed until March 2023. Yep, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, John Wick 4 has been delayed an entire year. Now, look, that could be... it could very much be still to do with the pandemic stuff. Right now, obviously, Keanu Reeves is embracing The Matrix Resurrections, which got released this past week. So the hype train for that's all going ahead. Unfortunately, the reviews I've heard about so far aren't too favourable. However, John Wick 4, unfortunately, has been delayed. Now, I do know filming has obviously in full swing. So not too sure if there's a scheduling conflict or what has happened, but unfortunately... for an entire, which is really sad because I was really looking forward to John Wick 4. I can't wait to see that, but it is what it is. Same thing with every Marvel movie that's come out, coming out in the next 2 years, that's all been pushed back either by 2 months or by 3 months. So delays are still no surprise. Hopefully by 12 months' time, we don't experience these delays anymore, but hey, things happen. In other news as well, which I was very surprised to see about this, is Michael Keaton is returning for Batgirl, the HBO Max movie. I was blown away when I read this. I was like, holy shit. So, Michael Keaton will be appearing in the Batgirl series, Batgirl movie on HBO Max, as well as Commissioner Gordon, Jonah Jameson. The guy who plays Jonah Jameson will be returning as well to fulfill his role from both Batman v Superman and Justice League. He will also be returning as well. So it's gonna, with Michael Keaton, Jonah Jameson returning, as well as Brendan Fraser playing Firefly. I'm really curious about this movie now. Like, at first when it got announced, I was like, oh, okay. cool, Batgirl, I'll still watch it. But now that all this is coming out, I'm swinging more to the way I'm like, all right, you had my curiosity, but now you have my full attention to see how this comes out. Because Michael Keaton has to be the last Batman I thought that would appear in that movie. Hell, I didn't even think a Batman would actually appear in the movie. I thought they maybe just do a whole Batgirl side story. But the fact it's Michael Keaton, like, you know, not Ben Affleck, not Robert Pattinson, which the director of the Batman has announced that the Robert Pattinson Batman is not part of the DCEU, which we pretty much already knew, but now it's been officially confirmed that he will not be crossing over with anything. But you know, not even Batfleck. So I'm very surprised about that, but you have my full attention. Both this and The Flash, Michael Keaton returning, take my money. Now just Warner Brothers. Now, Michael Keaton's returning for these two things. Can you please announce the Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton playing old Batman? Yes, please take my money. Don't waste any more time on all the crap that you do to the rest of DCEU. But yes, he will be returning in Batgirl, HBO Max. Okay, so that was the biggest news that's happened in the past week, but I do have some little news about myself as well. So with Lights Camera Rant, because I'm currently on holidays at the moment, because of Christmas, which I hope everyone had a very good Christmas. We've been doing a little bit of TLC around all the socials, and I'm happy to announce that Lights Camera Rant website is now live. So Lights Camera Rant WordPress.com.au is now live, which shows all our episodes, shows all of our socials, as well as every single platform, most of all in which you can listen to our podcast. Listen to this podcast. As well as if you don't have Spotify or Apple Apple Podcasts, there is still about another 4 to 5 options right there that you can choose from. They will link and take you directly there if you have your own particular podcast streaming service, which is it's been a little bit on the back burner, obviously just with been a bit hectic, but now it is, because I'm on holidays, which is fantastic. That is now live and up in the internet, in the ether. Yeah, ether? Yeah, it sounds about right. So that's all up and running. So definitely go check that out. Obviously, there will be more to come on the website in due course. As well as, speaking of a bit more TLC, is that I only recently discovered, but now it's also working, is that the Facebook page as well has been linked up with our RSS feed, and now you can listen to all these episodes on Facebook as well. If you don't have Spotify, if you don't have Apple or any of the others, you can listen to each episode on Facebook now on the Lights Camera Facebook page. So definitely go check that out. So yes, definitely been doing some housekeeping, and yeah, we're happy to announce that those two are now up and running, and just more accessibility for you guys, make it easier for you guys, as well as keep you guys up to date, as always, which I like to do. Speaking of Christmas as well, I should let you know that I did get, as a lovely Christmas present from Santa, I did get the new Guardians of the Galaxy game and Evil Genius 2, so I will have reviews of them coming up in episodes. So far, Guardians of the Galaxy, I've started playing, and it is fantastic, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. But yes, those are upcoming reviews that will be coming in new episodes. But yeah, that's a lot of the news I've had for the past week to tell you guys, get you prepped, make sure you get access, and keep you guys up to date. So let's get on to the Hawkeye final episode. Now, there's a lot of anticipation for this episode, and obviously I'm going to tell you straight up spoilers. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. 110%. Especially when this episode comes out, you should have already seen it by now. So we've come to a close for our last Disney Plus TV show. Last Disney Plus TV show for the year, which is, oh my God. Honestly, I can't believe the fact that, we've come to an end. It's, when I first got announced, I thought, thinking to myself, Hawkeye is ages away. It's far, 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 far at the end of the year, and holy shit, here we are. So it was kind of like, oh my God, when I finished watching the episode. So this, I have to tell you, it's a solid ending. And overall, it was a good episode. Probably my expectations were probably a little bit high for the after credits scene, which was slightly disappointed, but I'll get to that. So this particular episode starts off with the fact that Kate Bishop and Clint are going to go to her mum's party and get everything ready, because now they know that Elena, the Tracksuit Mafia, are all going to gun for them. They're all going to try and take them out, especially Clint. So what we see is see a nice scene of them getting prepared. They start working on the trick arrows, which Kate Bishop gets all excited for and can't wait. So they start to have a montage scene of them building that, getting that all ready. Also, we see the return of the LARPers. The live action role-playing group, they also make their return for this last episode, which I thought was really good. But yeah, so once they get all that organized, they go to the Bishop Security Christmas Ball, because as well as the Tracksuit Mafia get ready as well. But so this all leads to this Christmas party where this big showdown is going to happen. But straight off the bat, so there is no hiding it. So the episode starts straight off with Kingpin. Right, boom. Now, I thought there was going to be like a little bit, not as much Kingpin, but there's a lot of Kingpin in this episode, and Vincent D'Onofrio does fantastic. Every time he's on screen, he's an imposing force. And he nails it just like how he nailed it in Daredevil, and you feel the presence of, like, because of how big he is and how what's about to come. So that's straight away as well. So pretty much the first 20 minutes of the episode, all the pieces start getting into place. You see Kingpin getting ready. You see Elena getting, Elena's going to be obviously. Kate Bishop and Clint get ready to go and get this down. And so when we get to the Christmas party, Christmas party obviously starts off really nice. Obviously Jack comes back. He gets out of prison and he's wearing his sword because he's the swordsman. Duh. So he also appears. And as the episode progresses, obviously, as you know, it's going to all go to shit. But a little bit back and forth, action from that. But this episode, because I obviously go from the party in the story building to down onto the ice rink, which we saw in a lot of the early promos. We get down to that, as well as you do see the costumes, which you saw on all the promo art. Kate Bishop and Clint look so good. Love the costumes, as well as the back and forth between Kate and Elena is probably the biggest highlight of the show. It is so funny, those two, when they interact, especially as an elevator scene. It's just a little bit childish, but it's really funny between those two. And that was probably one thing through the episode. I was like, I can't wait to see more of these two. Happy to do a buddy cop movie with these two because it's going to be really good. And I instantly want to see, just from the interaction, I want to see more Kate. I want to see more Elena in the MCU coming up. But the fact that they do really good, the end action scene is fantastic. You see all these trick arrows, which is really good. Because who doesn't want more trick arrows? Come on. We also see Maya. She confronts the Kingpin saying that she wants to go on vacation. But obviously, as the episode progresses, you see that she comes back to fight the second number 2 of the Tracksuit Mafia. I forgot his name. But he was the number 2 guy that could also speak in sign language. So they have a good fight scene, which unfortunately he dies. But the thing is, overall, everyone gets their moment in this episode. They do get their time. There is obviously a little bit thing is the Kingpin dead? Because unfortunately he gets his ass whooped by Kate and a car towards the end. And it's implied that Mia shoots him as well. So, but I don't think he's actually been shot. I think he's going to appear. What's the chances of the fact that we both get Daredevil and Kingpin reprising their roles in the same week with Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye? So if you were a fan of that TV show, if you're a fan of that TV show, you've gained immensely this week. You've been very, very happy because you win. And so that's the lead to the end, and we do obviously get a nice wholesome moment after the victory has won. Victory has won. The fact that Kate Bishop and Clint go back to Clint's farm with his family, and you find out that Laura, his wife, was actually a SHIELD agent. She was the owner of the watch. Out of everyone who we thought the watch would own, it was hers. Didn't see that coming. But you do see the very wholesome moment, the fact he finally gets to his family, embraces Christmas Day, embraces Kate, as well as he burns the Ronin suit, letting the past die. That's a really nice, wholesome ending, as well as what we also get is, sorry, pull back a little bit, my mistake, is that Elena and Clint go hand-to-hand combat because you feel hand-to-hand combat on the ice rink, and you feel all this emotion coming from Elena because she doesn't understand why her sister's dead. Which I thought for a split second, was he actually going to tell her, there was 5 stones, we went to a soul planet, a guy was floating, there was a ghost, told us we had to pick, and blah, blah, blah. But no, he says, when she asked him the question, how did she die? He goes, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. But they have a really good moment. Clint actually knows their secret whistle that we saw in Black Widow, which makes Elena stop. They talk it out a little bit more, and it's a really good moment because the fact that you feel all the emotion of the fact that how much weight Natasha had to these two characters. They both said how much they loved her and how much they miss her, and you feel the weight. Like this series, I feel like this series does a really good of reminding you how impactful Nat was, how sad she's gone, and everything that she did, and how it also reminds you of the fact how much the original Avengers unfortunately will never assemble again, and what the big impact that they had. The original 6 members moving forward, you will never see that happen again, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, you do feel that. So this show does a really good on an emotional level, which I liked a lot. But yeah, overall, emotional, action, and does a solid ending. Now, the after credits scene I did mention earlier, which I was a bit, I wasn't annoyed. It was probably my expectation could have been a little bit higher. Clearly, my expectation of being an MCU fan was that the after credits scene was the full play of Rogers. I could do this all day. Yeah, so you saw that it was a full play, which they did a solid production on, and I love the fact that they shot the whole thing. But I think a lot of people were disappointed because of the fact that right at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland's swinging in New York City, and the last scene is he swings across from the giant Christmas tree in New York City, in which Hawkeye takes place. And we know that Hawkeye is after No Way Home, so I think people thought the fact that he would appear. I did think he might make a small appearance. However, we've got to remember the fact that these TV shows and movies were shot obviously with pandemic, so obviously people couldn't be as freely to pop out everywhere, so that could be why that he couldn't appear, and they just went with the whole Rogers musical. So that's fine. Look, it's all right. It's not that too bad. We still are satisfied, and I think Hawkeye has been a solid series overall. And moving forward, if Clint doesn't appear again, that's fine. I want more Kate. I want more Elena. And I want Kingpin to come back, which I have no doubt he will. He better. He 100% better be coming back. But yeah, I don't think he's dead. And I'm also excited for the Echo Maya TV show now. I want to see more of her. After when it first got announced, I was like, oh, what the hell is this? But now I'm like, I know what this is, and I want more. So overall, Hawkeye TV show beat all my expectations overall, which I'm glad it did. And I think it actually, a lot of people I've spoken to, it beat a lot of people's expectations, because some people, don't think Hawkeye is obviously the most popular or he's a lame hero, but this showed him flesh, bone, why he's a hero, and what he does. And it's well deserved, and I'm really glad that we got that nice happy ending. So that's all done and dusted. So my MCU shows overall ranked: 1, Wanda; 2, Loki; 3, Hawkeye; 4, What If; 5, Cap. That is my overall choice from all these shows we've seen, and I can't wait to see all the ones that will come next year. There's just something special about Wanda that, the fact that WandaVision started off, and it was just a really good, solid mini TV show, and just the game changer did after episode 3, and just like, whoa, and everything that's going to follow after that. And obviously Loki, Tom Hiddleston was fantastic, and every single rate. Obviously each of these shows has my own personal review, so definitely go check them out. I know you'll love them. But yeah, overall, that is the MCU shows. Hawkeye did fantastic, and for me, more Kate Bishop, more Elena, and more Kingpin. Let's go for it. MCU. Now, Marvel haven't announced the next Marvel TV show that will kick off the year next year. However, not a particular date. However, I do believe it's meant to be Moon Knight. Moon Knight is meant to be the next show, which I have no doubt will come out before Doctor Strange, because there's about a 5-month gap there, which is like the biggest gap we've experienced since before Black Widow. We haven't experienced any gap. This has been the biggest gap. So it's going to be really cool and see when that comes out, which I will keep you guys up to date when we have the official date. But yeah, so Hawkeye, win. Definitely go check it out, but definitely let me guys know what you thought of it was, and did you like it? Did there be expectations, and where does it rank on your MCU shows for 2021? Definitely let me know in the comments. So, moving on to the last little bit is 2021 overall at the box office. So, let's start off with the top 10 box office hits for 2021. Number 10 comes in Eternals. Eternals came with $400,000 at the box office. $400 million at the box office. Then we have Shang-Chi at number 9 with $432 million at the box office. We have Godzilla vs. Kong with $467 million at the box office. Venom 2 made $500 million at the box office. We have Detective Chinatown at number 6 with $686 million at the box office. That's more of a Vietnam Korean film. Vietnam Korean film, that particular one. Fast 9 came at $726 million at the box office. James Bond, No Time to Die, came at $774 million. Hi Mum, which is a foreign film, came at $822 million. And The Battle at Lake Changjin, or if I probably butchered that, sorry, at $902 million. So these are all hits, obviously. And with Spider-Man No Way Home, $1 billion at the box office. So after that is when you're looking at 11 for Dune, 12 Black Widow, 13 Free Guy, A Quiet Place, Cruella. That's when it starts getting into all of them. But yeah, so the biggest, number one, which I had no doubt was going to be Spider-Man No Way Home, and then the next one is James Bond, which sounds about right, because these came at the end of the year when more people came out of lockdown, more people coming out of with the vaccination and everything. So obviously they're going to have higher numbers, which, that list did not surprise me. Probably the most that did surprise me is the fact that Internals was above June. I thought it would be the other way around because there was so much hype with June. However, and the box office numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. So let's look at flops. Let's look at the ones that did not succeed for 2021. So first one we got is Chaos Walking. Now, Chaos Walking. Now, I had no doubt this was going to be a box office bomb because of the fact this movie was in like development hell. It's been pushed back so many times. They had to go do reshoots. And, you know, the fact it had Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland in it, and it did a box office bomb. You know, it did terrible. So the budget was $125 million, and it only made $125 million budget with $26 million at return. Now you got to remember that when it says budget, that's just the filming costs, and also it's not including advertising. And the fact that that's how much money it made. Shit. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And you know what's funny? It's starring Tom Holland, who has 5 movies of a $1 billion box office under his belt. Yet, but from that, it wasn't his fault. Honestly, go have a look at the history of Chaos Walking. The movie's a mess. It's just something that on paper that should have been fantastic. No, did not work out very well. At all. Next was In the Heights. This did a dual release for in the theaters and on HBO Max. So this had a production of $55 million and it only made $43 million at the worldwide box office. Yeesh. Next is Snake Eyes with G.I. Joe spin-off film. This had a budget of $88 million. Box office $40 million. Ouch. And look, it's I don't know. It's when I saw the trailer for it, nothing leaped out to me like I really want to go see that. Nothing really spoke to me about that particular movie, which is really sad. It's really sad that it did because to me it didn't seem that bad, but ooh. Another movie. Now, this one I was so surprised when I looked up this. It was a box office bomb. However, it came out when we were during lockdown. Is Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2 is considered a box office bomb. And let me explain why. So, its budget was $185 million. But global box office numbers was $167 million. Yet, you know, on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 90% approval rating. It is praised. It is so much better than the original one. It just absolutely shined. I also have my review if you are interested to know my thoughts on it. But to me, I was like half surprised, half not because of the fact that pandemic era. If this was released normally, it would make enough money. However, at the same time, obviously R-rated movies don't make the same amount of money as a PG movie, which we clearly know. Remini Science. Yep, that's, butchering that. That's I can tell you as a box office bomb because I never heard of that one. And that was a production budget of $54 million. And that, holy shit. Global box office return was only $15 million. That's just a loss on everything. $15 million probably only paid the actor's salary. Shit, that's not heard of it. So, Dear Evan Hansen, that had a production budget of $28 million. However, box office return was $18 million. Shit. That's also bad. Very bad. The Many Saints of New York. So this particular one was the prequel to The Sopranos. $50 million production. Oh my god. Only $12 million at the box office. Whew. But a 71% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But shit, that's That's a loss. That is 100% a loss right there. The Last Duel, that came with a budget of $100 million. Global box office return was $30 million. So that's the one I was telling you guys about the other day. A couple episodes ago, was the fact with directed by Ridley Scott. And it was like, oh, nobody wants to, millennials don't want to learn anything except off a phone. I'm like, no, if you make a shitty movie. And not to mention, you got to take into account the fact you released a movie in the pandemic era. Of course, it's going to not make a significant return, which it didn't. It did not make a significant return at all. However, 85% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So there you go, Ridley Scott. People like it, but nobody wanted to pay to go see it. So suck it. King Richard, which was the Serena Williams, the Williams sisters biopic with Will Smith. Production value of $50 million. Global box office return was only $24 million. Yep, that's a loss. But 91% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's like, it's a similar thing. It's like, I like it, it's good. I don't want to go pay to go see it, pretty much. Now this particular one, this is still in the theaters. This one's still in the theaters, so it could change. So I do feel bad because the fact this is a Steven Spielberg movie. Not to mention, this is a Steven Spielberg passion movie, which is The West Side Story. This had a budget of $100 million. Box office to return only $27 million. $27 million, yet it has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's... Now, that's sad for Steven Spielberg, for him, because I love his work. I think he's fantastic. He is just not the up echelon of the fact the greatest director of all time. Hands down. And the fact that that's what's happened, it could change. However, what could be a little, because the fact it came out the same week or the week prior before Spider-Man No Way Home. So that's the thing, you look at these movies and they've got high approval ratings, but the fact that no one wants to go see them at the box office. However, Spider-Man No Way Home just made $1 billion at the box office. So it's like, where does that line draw? Where does the line draw from the fact that people aren't going to see franchises, people aren't seeing new movies, or is it the pandemic era? It's the line is really a bit skewed with at the moment, which we are seeing. But yeah, those are the top 10 box office bombs of 2021, which have some great directors, some great actors, yet no one would go see them at the box office. And my last little one is the top 10 voted on IMDb of top shows of 2021, which we have number 1, Squid Game, which I still need to watch, which I will give you my review. That was number 1 with 355,000 votes from people saying it is the top show of 2021. Aspirants, that was number 2. Number 3 is WandaVision. Number 4 is Loki. Number 5 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Mayor of Easttown. 7, Arcane. Number 8, Diandora. Number 9, Invincible. I rate Invincible. That was a fantastic show. Shout out to Mark. And number 10, Lupin. So these 10 are from IMDb, as I said. So these were voted by people saying that these were the best shows of 2020. And the average approval rating is 8 all up to 9.7. Now, unfortunately, Hawkeye isn't up there. Hawkeye is a bit lower. Hawkeye is after What If. But yeah, guys, so those were voted. So those were what people were saying were the best shows. And I completely agree with Invincible. I'm glad that's right up there. And obviously, guys know my feeling about the MCU shows, but they were the best and the highest for the top of this year. So this year has been, very interesting for what have been hits and what have been misses. And, it's going to be interesting going into next year. Will this be, this time next year, are we going to be able to look back on, 2022 and go, all right, so these are proper numbers because majority of everyone was out of lockdown, vaccinations, everything like this completely post-pandemic era, which is just shown by Spider-Man No Way Home. So it's going to be very interesting to see how next year takes on. But look, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you all like my little tidbits, my little stats. And look, as I said, I thank you for coming in every single week since June. It melts my heart and fills me with warmth for the fact that I'm glad you guys keep coming back. It means a lot to me that you come and listen. And if I'm being truthful, it's just puts a smile on my face. It puts a smile on my face every time I see through the Anchor app. It's just saying, with 2 plays, or 3 or 20 or 30, just seeing the fact 2 plays, someone's listening just melts my heart, and I appreciate it greatly. And I just want to do a big thank you to all of you who come back each week and listen in and give me your feedback and comment and share and talk. It's really fantastic. And a big shout out to everyone who's been a guest star on this podcast. Big plans coming for 2022. And I hope you guys have a great New Year's. I hope you had a great Christmas. Go out with the year in a bang. And let's get ready for 2022, ladies and gentlemen, for Lights, Camera, Rant. The last one for the year. I thank you. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.